Greetings and welcome to the SimpleFTP tutorial. Let's start out by showing you how to install it. It's very simple. If you're already advanced and you know how to install software, you may want to go ahead and skip on over to the next section. But for those who don't, there's a little file in here, text file, telling you to right-click on it and run as administrator. Okay. Now, I say that because on like Windows Vista 7 especially, some software just doesn't work unless you install it as administrator. Okay, if that option's not available when you right click on it, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you end up having problems saving profiles, which we will get into a little later on here, but if you have problems, then you'll probably have to contact the computer administrator and get this straightened out. But chances are you're not going to have a problem. So I'm not going to walk all the way through installing this, but what you'll do is install it and you will have a shortcut in your menu, and also it will give you the option to give you a desktop shortcut and a quick launch shortcut. So install it up and go to your start menu and open it up, and we will continue on in the next segment of this video. Okay, welcome back. Let's continue on here, and now that we've got our software started, we went over to our menu and we started it up, and this is what you're going to see. Now, I'm not going to get into the deeper, inner workings of this software. I'm going to show you an overview of how to use it. That's really all you need to know, how to use the software and use it right, use it efficiently. So what we'll do, the first thing, when you sign up for a hosting account, if you use any host, cPanel is what most people use, and that's what we'll be focusing on here. Okay, cPanel may be Greek to you, but if you sign up for a hosting company such as like HostGator, one of the more popular ones, you will be assigned a cPanel account. And what you'll do is they will send you a welcome message with all of your information on it. And they'll also give you information for your FTP access. So what you'll need to do, of course, is get your welcome email, and we're going to need it to continue on here. So pause the video if you need to, go find that information and come on back. I've already got some information out here. You'll get something like this, from your, this is not HostGator here that I'm talking about, but it is from a cPanel account. So what you do is you always have a information like the hosting, the control panel login and such, or cPanel, and you'll also usually get something with a file transfer protocol, or FTP information. So what we need to do is we need this information and get it into the software here to get connected. Okay, once you get this in there, you'll notice that I've already apparently started here because I've got it entered in there. You'll notice that in here you can use a lot of times an IP address or the other host name that they assign you. For this purpose, I've just entered in my IP address. Okay, the FTP username is your account here, and of course your password. And very rarely do you see anybody using any port besides 21. For more advanced users, if you're going to connect to like secure, it would be probably like port 22. But in this one, we're going to stick with port 21. So I've entered in my information here from the welcome email that I got. The first thing you want to do is, of course, you can connect right off the bat, but you can go ahead and save this for later use, and that way you don't have to enter it in each time. So we'll save it, the profile. It's going to open up here, and it's going to ask you where you want to save this. You can save the profiles in My Documents or anywhere on your computer that you would like, but you need to, remember where they are. So set it up somewhere that you normally work in. Desktop is okay, but it clutters up your desktop. I always recommend My Documents or something like that. Create you a folder called, SimpleFTP or something like that. So we're going to save this one as Easy Articles. I always try to save it like in the site name so I know which one I'm connecting to, what I'm looking for. Once we save it, it's there. And then we do a connect. And you'll see all kind of stuff pop up on the screen here. Some of you that's familiar with this may be boring you, but I want to make sure that everybody understands. You'll notice that I did move this around. You can do these panels whatever size that you would like. And some people do not even like to see these panels because you basically get the same thing down here. But, it's a good way to navigate. Totally up to you if you want to use them. If you don't, pull them all the way up and just use the folders and such as here. Okay, so we are connected now to our server. And on most all cPanel accounts, you're going to have the same basic setup here. Public FTP, public HTML, temp, and everything like that. You really don't want to mess with any of these files. What you're always looking for is the public HTML folder. That is where all of your website files go. And to navigate, we just double click on it and it goes. Again, you can use the one up here. You noticed I went back where I was. You can use it to navigate if you like, or these. Totally up to you. Now once you get in here, you're also going to have all kinds of files here, all kinds of folders. And if you're advanced, go ahead and mess around with them. But I suggest you don't unless you know what you're doing. A lot of times you will have just this information in here, and I'm going to show you how to upload a site. So go ahead and if you do not have the site, I've provided you in a little example site that you can work with. If you don't have that open or know where it's at, go ahead and locate that, and let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, now we're ready to upload a site. Now, in the folder, you should have a folder called, I should say in your folder you downloaded, you should have a folder called Assets or something like that. Search around for it, and inside that Assets folder, you will find a test page, okay, test sales page, and it looks something like this here. Assets, and then the test sales page, and you will have the images, a style, and a sales page.html. Now this is nothing more than just an example sales page that I wanted you to have it so you can upload it and follow along with me here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get that uploaded to our server and take a look at it. Let's go over here to our software, and I'm going to go ahead and reconnect here. I'm going to use the one we set up, do a connect, let it do its thing, and there it is. Again, I explained on the other video that we are going to be working in our public_HTML directory. It's a cPanel account, something like you get from HostGator. I'm going to double click on that, and I'll be taken to the actual folder. And this is where we store all of our website files. And now, you don't want to mess with any of the other folders in here. Leave those like they are. You may already have a lot of other folders in there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a folder. We'll do it. There's a couple of different ways. You can go ahead and go up and right here, create folder. You got one thing I do want to show you though real quick before I do that. You'll notice that we can click and you'll see the blue here. Make sure you are working over here when you click new folder. If you're over here, you're going to create a folder on your hard drive, okay, on your local computer. Over here, you're going to be working on the server. So let's create a folder, We're just going to call it let's call it sales page, okay? If I can type today, do okay, and you'll notice that it appears right here, okay? So what we'll do is we will double click on sales page. We're taken to a totally empty directory. Now there's a couple of things we can do here, and I'm going to show you both of them. One of them was we can navigate using our panel over here on our computer to it wherever you've got this stored and downloaded on your computer. You can actually get on your C drive or D drive, whatever you've got it on, navigate to where you've stored this. Okay, or you've got your folder open, okay, already where you've been working on this. You can actually I'm going to left click my mouse and I'm going to drag those three, get them all three highlighted, and I'm going to drag them over like so. Take just a short amount of time to get everything uploaded. Depends on the size that you're working with. You notice they did not appear, okay? And this happens on different servers. Some servers, it works fine. Some of them don't. And, you know, you just have to go back to your... Where are we at here? Get down here. Nope. Sorry about that. That happened so fast. All I did was just hit the green button here and it reloads the directory. And that'll happen on some servers, and some you may be on one that works fine. It just all depends. Sometimes it'll refresh and sometimes it doesn't. But it's very simple to do. Hit your green button. But you will notice our files are up there. Okay, now that was showing you how to use it directly with a folder. And the same thing if you're working inside the software and using it to browse your computer. We were either using the folder that we were opened on the computer, or we're using the actual FTP software to browse. Now, either way, same thing. I hold my left button down, I drag and I highlight all three of those, and I drag them over. And okay, so this one says it already exists. Of course it does, because we just uploaded it. I wanted to show you this, just another little feature. So what we can do is, this is keep you from overwriting files, all right? You might have made a mistake and don't want to do this. So you would do no to all, or you can do yes to all. I'll show you yes to all, and you'll notice all the files start uploading again. All right, there we go. Everything is uploaded. Now let's go ahead and go to our site on our browser and take a look at this and see what we uploaded. Before we do that, I just want to point this out so you can understand and grasp this. We are connected to our domain name, whatever your domain name is, and we just create a folder called sales page. Let's go back up here. We create a folder called sales page. So it's going to be your domain name, .com, .net, whatever, / sales page. And you'll notice that inside this folder, sales page, that is named sales page. Okay, now being that it's in a directory by itself, what we want to do is probably rename it to index.html. All right, and that way when people will type in your domain name / sales page, they're taken directly to it. So let's go ahead and show you how to rename this. And once we rename it, then we'll go ahead and open our browser up, okay? So what we're doing, remember, we're working over here. We want this turned blue, not here. We want this one like so. We want to work on this. You'll notice I clicked on it, double clicked on it, and it highlights like this and a little box appears. I can rename this to index.html, and it's renamed, okay? Or I can go up here and rename it, all right? Make sure it's selected, of course. But the easiest way to rename it is just double click like so, and then you will be able to rename it. Don't change the extension HTML. I would leave it like it is. All right, and what we do is now we'll go to it in our browser. And this is what we uploaded. And this is what you would be doing, sales pages or whatever you want to be uploading. You can do your images if you need to replace images or whatever the case may be. Knowing how to FTP is just a necessity in this online business. You just need to know how to do it. Having to pay somebody to do every little step is just crazy. So, okay, now we're on our way. What we'll do in the next video, now that we know how to start the software up, set a site up, upload a page, rename a file, we know how to do that, is we're going to do a little bit more features, advanced features and such as that you might need to know. So go ahead and take a break and come on back. In this segment, we're going to cover a little bit more of the advanced features that many of you will probably never use. Some of you will. So let's cover them. Just a few things here that that you need to know about the software. A few little tips and tricks, as we'll call them. You'll see this box up here at the top. This is a file mask. It's like a file sorter. I don't know. It's actually, I call it a sorter. All right. If I want to find something in a directory, of course, when you got a little small directory like this, it's not very hard to find anything. But if you were, had a lot of files in here and you need to find a certain file to transfer over, whatever the case may be, of course, as I stated in the other videos, you've got the top up here. Whatever's highlighted is what you're working on. This is the local, your computer. This is the server. So let's say we had a lot of files in here and we needed to find just the CSS, the style sheet, okay? We would take this and change it to, we use the *.css. Okay, when we do this, you'll notice that the index file disappears and it locates just this. Again, this is only for directories with large files. You just need to locate it. Something to know. Okay, go ahead and put this back the way it was. And of course, this shows all files in the directory. All right, now also permissions. You'll notice that over here, you've got some funky looking numbers and letters. Okay, and it's getting more and more with PHP and such, and servers changing. It's getting rare that you have to actually change the files, but from time to time you do, and it's nice to know how. Okay, so if someone gives you a program, let's say a script for instance, and they tell you that you need to change the file permissions on it, okay, what you would do is you would take and highlight it. There's a couple of ways to do this, but you can right click and we call this chmod. All right, Greek to many. But let's say, for instance, in your script that you've downloaded and you need to upload to your website, and it tells you to give the file right permissions, and it could be they tell you 777, okay, and that, it's like I say, it's getting more rare and rare that you have to do this, and it can become a security issue, and only do this if you're told to do so. So this would be one way to set it to 777. Set it. Let's go over here and look, and you will notice that. Let's pull this over so you can see it. And it's getting a little hard to do there. Okay, so you'll notice that this now is set to all of these, which is read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute, 777. Another popular one is 666, which, hey, I didn't make this up. That's the way it's been for years. I did not make the letters up, 666. And what happens here is read, write, read, write, read, write. This is also a popular one. If they tell you to set it to this, then we set it to that. You'll notice that it changes. Read, write, read, write, read, write. And in this tutorial, I'm not going into why you have to do this so much as how to do it is what this is about. Okay, there is how to use the file mask, how to change permissions on a file, and let's go ahead and cover some of the menus up here. Sort. Okay, you can sort by file type. You'll notice that it actually changes that. You can sort by size. And you can sort by date. Okay, sort by date's a great one because if you just modify it or upload a file, the newer ones will be up towards the top. Again, not something you'll always use, but it's nice to know in the software. Okay, let's cover the little icons up here quickly. You'll notice that we're on our server and the trash can is not highlighted. Okay, you can delete a file, and what happens though when you delete a file on the server, it's gone forever. There's no recovering it whatsoever. Okay, but if you're over on your local computer, over on this side, you've actually got the recycle bin. Okay, you can delete and you can recycle. You can recover it because it uses the computer recycle bin. All right, you'll notice here you can rename a file. I'm not going to go into that. It's simple. We actually did it in another prior video. You'll notice them over here, and now this one is highlighted, and that's what we just did. We changed the file permissions. Just another way of doing it instead of right-clicking. All right, the next thing that you need to know is if you need to create a folder. You can go over here to File, Create Folder. Remember, I'm highlighted here. Create Folder. We're going to call this Test. And you'll see that it appears. So if I had test, and in the actual product that I downloaded, it told me to change this. I would to a right. I would change it to 777, and you'll notice that it's changed. Again, this is becoming rare and rare as we go on in time and security increases. Okay, the last thing we're going to cover is you will notice this drop down. Okay, auto. Normally I would just leave it at auto. Okay, and when you're transferring files, you do it in ASCII or binary. Text files and a lot of other files will be transferred in ASCII, PHP, and such as binary. Best thing to do is leave it at auto, and everything should work just fine. If you do run into errors, and again this is advanced, you can attempt to change and transfer in ASCII or binary, but for the most part just leave it on auto and you'll be fine. All right, that concludes this tutorial. I hope that you now consider yourself an FTP whiz, and you'll be no longer paying someone to do this simple task. There's no reason for it. You always need to know how to upload. All right, thanks for watching and have a great day.